What are you still doing here, old man?
I'm gonna you up.
Hey everyone, I'm Dr. Stavros Halvatsis. Most stories comprise of both telling and showing. If telling explains, simplifies, and summarizes by compressing time and space, showing is a species of subtext that reveals and dramatizes, encouraging readers and audiences to piece things together for themselves. Let's dive right in. Writers often compress actions and events through narration to speed up a story. Even so, catapulting the reader into a scene by showing rather than telling can increase reader engagement. Here are some examples. The boy felt terror when he heard his uncle, cane in hand no doubt, approaching his room. He always came to his room with his cane. The boy's tiny stomach contracted into an even tighter knot, and his fear grew. Here, the author tells us how the boy feels. Showing, the boy heard his uncle's footsteps growing louder, accompanied by the swish of his cane. He squeezed his eyes shut, pressed his palms against his ears, and shivering, counted back from 10. This is better because it shows us the boy's fear rather than tell us that he feels it. Dialogue, especially dialogue that generates subtext, can uncover a layer beneath the literal meaning of the words, which enhances reader participation. But dialogue can also show. Here is telling first. You thought I wouldn't notice, Tommy. The number of coins in the orange pot on the top shelf. The pot I thought you couldn't reach. You think I'm stupid, you thieving, ungrateful brat. This is a direct accusation of theft through telling. Here's how showing increases suspense. Our neighbor caught his nephew stealing from his wallet, thrashed him real hard. Should have cut his hand off, I says. You'd never steal from your old uncle, would you, Tommy? Steal from that orange pot in the top kitchen cupboard? The one with the money you pretend not to know is there? Here we perceive that the boy is being subtly accused of stealing from the pot. A setting that uses vivid sensory details can also help the writer show rather than tell by having the reader more directly experience the environment through the senses. Telling, the angry, ominous Arcus clouds were full of lightning. A terrifying storm was brewing. He had never feared storms before, but he feared this one. He feared he would not survive unless he could tie the loose sails back on the mast before the storm hit. This tells us what the situation is and what the character feels. The next example puts us into the boat itself. The boat bucked under his feet as lightning set the looming Arcus clouds on fire. Loose sails hissed and flapped savagely above him like a wounded behemoth. He'd have to secure them to the mast or die trying. We feel the boat buck under our feet, hear the sails flap, see the clouds burning. We don't need to be told that he is afraid, we fear along with him. In trying to show, not tell, don't be too ornate or overly descriptive. Less is more. This is too detailed. He was heavy-set with thick eyebrows and the forehead of a Neanderthal. His muscles bulged with the threat of deadly violence, and his voice was as gruff as a wheel-less barrow grating on the cold grey concrete. The following version is more economical, especially for a screenplay. He looked and sounded like a truck churning over a full load of concrete. Lastly, show by describing impactful action. Telling, although necessary, slows your story down. But how do you introduce characters, environments, and provide background information without losing momentum? You do it by describing action that characterizes while creating tension. For example, if you need to introduce a character, say, on a bus, instead of having him while away the time by describing trivialities about the passengers and the thoughts that this triggers, build up the tension through small actions such as having him notice one or more people bothering another passenger, leering at her, being rude and suggestive, invading her personal space, and the like. How your character reacts to this will show us the type of man that he is, all the while maintaining momentum. To sum it all up then, although telling is necessary to cover large story terrain, showing involves readers and audiences more directly and should be part of any screenplay or manuscript. That's it for now. If you learned something from this video, consider hitting the like and subscribe buttons and leaving a comment to share your thoughts and to help the channel grow. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon.